May I come in, sir?
Come.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Saurabh,
Yes, sir.
please introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Sir, my name is Sourabh Kumar and I am from Bihar. My father works as manager in Coal India. That's why I spent my childhood in Jharkhand and Odisha. I did my schooling from DV Public School. Then I did my BTech in mining engineering from IIT Kharagpur. And also I was awarded micro specialization in entrepreneurship and innovation. My hobbies are reading mystery novels and watching investigative documentaries. Yes.
Achha. We generally hear the startups normally fail.
Yes, sir.
So how many startups fail? Because you are a pioneer, you have done some studies on startups.
Yes, sir.
Why startups fail? You must have analyzed it.
Yes,
How
sir.
many of them fail and why do they fail?
Sir, according to general statistics, more than 90% startup fail within 5 years, and more than 99% startup continue but without any operation undergoing after 20 years. So generally there are multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is directly related to funding. Most of the funding is accumulated in only top tier startups, and that too in top tier cities. So tier 2 startups are not getting much funding. And the second issue is much more serious. Like even if they are able to get funding, Indian startups lack innovation and not innovation. Indian startups lack mentorship and incubation. So they are not able to utilize the funds properly. They are channeling the funds to marketing, and the cash burn is very high. Until the time they start to break even, the startups the investor lose confidence in the startups. So these are for most of the startups, but there are also other reasons, sir. Specific reason in specific sectors.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You have studied mining engineering, right?
Yes, sir.
After studying mining engineering, which is a very, very important subject,
Yes, sir.
and must be very interesting also. You have not done any work in mining after that. Why? You are a startup expert. You could have started your own startup related to mining. Why not?
Sir, in terms of startup, I thought of that various dimensions according to mining career in India. But sir, particularly in terms of startup, mining companies require huge investment and also huge risk-taking capabilities. And I did internship in Vedanta Resources in my college. So I think I can contribute more to the mining field by coming to the civil services, where I can work across multiple sectors. Because the mining engineering field through startups is quite narrow in terms of like growth and innovation.
Okay.
Yes.
See, day in and day out, you must be studying newspaper also. They say that countries put sanctions on each other.
Yes, sir.
America putting sanctions on India, India restricting their goods and all that. What is this game about? Why do they put sanctions on each other?
Sir, there may be two inferences. First is, sir, in the terms of general interest, in which sir, multilateral institutions condemn the action of some nations, then bigger nations tend to put sanctions in order to punish them. But sir, recently there is a tendency of America putting sanctions, and in terms of tariffs also on other countries. This may be in terms of national interest to protect their own interest. That may be detrimental to the whole of the global scenario.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is a seismic zone? How do we get the earthquakes here and there? Every day we hear of earthquakes because you have studied mining engineering.
Yes,
you
sir.
must have studied this subject very seriously.
Yes,
this
sir.
earthquake or not, because you work under the surface.
Yes, sir.
So, what is this seismic zone, and how do we get earthquakes? How the earthquakes are created?
So seismic zones are generally areas where the plate tectonics, where the plates are mostly active. And so earthquake may be due to various reasons. It may be due to convergent and divergent plates. And there are some areas where the plate boundaries are like interacting still. Like the Eurasian plate is interacting with Indian plate. So that area can be called seismic zone. And also, sir, other regions may be like mountainous areas, the passes. So that can be classified as according to various seismic zones.
Plate means, what do you mean by plates?
So the various continents are divided. The Indian landmass is considered as plates according to various geographers. So these plates are considered as the parts of lithosphere which are moving on the asthenosphere. So these are considered to be interacting, and the point where these two plates interact, that is most seismically active zone.
Are you aware? They say the Himalayas are rising.
Yes, sir.
How come Himalaya is rising such a huge mountain?
So the continental plate of Eurasia, the Indo-Australian plate is interacting with the Eurasian plate, and the pressure that is created due to the interaction of two plates forces the landmass to rise, and it is rising very slowly, sir, over a long geological time period. So suddenly, sir, evolutionally, it is rising very slowly due to the interaction and force compressional force that is created. Yes, sir. Yes.
Coming to the same issue,
Yes, sir.
they say that Himalaya is rising. Rising means it's growing up,
Yes, sir.
growing in mass, or rising vertically.
Sir, according to me, it is rising vertically.
Okay.
Yes, sir, as per my knowledge.
And what is the reference point? How do you say that it's rising? Like they say that water level of the sea level is also rising.
Yes, sir.
So what is the reference point?
Sir, we consider, I think, after the Trans-Himalayas, the plate is moving into more compression. So gradually the greater Himalayas part is rising and thus successive heights are increasing, and we generally measure it through sea level. And I think it is adjusted according to the increasing sea level.
No, but there must be some like zero. Once we say zero, zero is absolute number. That's nothing. This is the starting point.
Yes,
so,
sir.
what is the starting point? What is the sea level? How do you define sea level? How do you say sea level is rising? Himalaya is rising with reference to what? What is the previous location? Since it is it being pushed up? Or water rising means some more water is coming in the sea? If you can educate us.
Sir, in terms of mountains, I think the level is measured according to the base level, where there is a plane.
This is what I want to know. What is the base? How do you define base? And how do you keep it static?
So the sea.
Instant that this is the measurable point. Once we say it is rising, how do you measure? How do you keep a reference to the base and then say that base was here, now it has gone up?
So, according to my limited knowledge, I think the sea level is taken the base level, and when the sea level rises, we adjust it to measure the mountain.
But sea level rising is also. So how do you say sea level? Obviously, sea level would rise, then obviously sea level would change. So Himalaya's position will also change vis-a-vis the sea level. So how do you measure the sea level?
So the water enters into the landmass. So we can have, I think we measure it in terms of the level of water that is receding or coming into the landmass. So we can measure.
No, but physically, in the landmass, water level rises, so it is visible. Maybe
Yes,
after
sir.
some time, if you keep a mark, like we say, there is a water, Jamuna level is rising. So there is a pillar, it is marked. Now this is here, this is here, this is here.
Yes, sir.
So how do you measure the sea level is rising?
Sorry, sir. I think I need to understand.
You may look up.
Yes.
You may look into it, because for a common man like us, it would be very interesting.
Yes, sir.
Two, you have given your preference for the civil services IAS and the IPS,
Yes, sir.
foreign service also,
Yes, sir.
and Bihar is the first preference, right? So now, since you come from Bihar, Odisha, by and large, it is contiguous. Issues would be by and large similar. We continue to be at the same level in terms of Human Development Index. So tell me, can you identify maybe as a SP or as a, let's say DM, what would be the prominent areas you feel that our districts are facing, in Bihar especially?
So in terms of particular district.
Any district, common, their issues are quite common.
Yes, sir. So one of the most common and prominent issue is too much dependence on agricultural sector and lack of industries in Bihar. And that also leads to lack of job creation at the local level. That in turn lead to outmigration of Bihar population into other states. That leads to brain drain for Bihar. And sir, one of the other reasons is low government expenditure in health and education sector. So though on paper many students are enrolled in school, but they are not generally attending schools. So that leads to low human development.
So coming back to your issue, if
Yes.
there is low attendance, in the sense that there would be teachers also. So as a district magistrate, would you do something to improve attendance, or would you do something to focus on the education in Bihar, at least especially in your district, brain drain, etc., may not be within the purview of a DM.
Yes, sir. Sir, in terms of establishing industries, we can simplify the policies at the local level and attract the private sector.
I was talking of the schools, like you said, the low attendance in the schools.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think, sir, low attendance at school, according to me, sir, the major issue is lack of infrastructure in schools, particularly for the girls candidate, and also the lack of infrastructure in terms of basic amenities. So I think I will channel the fund that is meant to building of school infrastructure. And later, sir, I would also conduct awareness programs so that they understand the importance of schools.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Sourabh,
Yes, sir.
how are you feeling today?
So I am feeling both excited and slightly nervous.
Nervous. Why you are nervous?
So not generally nervous for the interview, but an urge to perform in my national state as whenever I am given a post as DM, sir has given me.
Okay.
So I think yes,
Sourabh, your hobby is watching investigative TV series.
yes, sir.
So, and you're also reading mysterious and suspense novels.
Yes, sir.
What are the writers and what are the novels do you read?
Sir, I started mostly with Agatha Christie novels, and still she is my favorite. So I mostly read her novels. One of her novels is And There Were None. The title is It Is My Favorite. I have also read novels of Dan Brown, Mario Puzo, The First Dawn and The Godfather. And I have also read some Indian authors. Some of the Indian authors like Devassis Sardana and Novorin Chakrabarti.
Okay.
Yes,
Do you follow Sherlock Holmes series or novel related to Sherlock Holmes?
Yes, sir. I read one of the novels, The Hound of Baskervilles. But sir, I like the genre of other authors more, so I followed more the other authors.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is the peculiar things we should follow during any investigation?
So peculiar things to follow, I think first we need patience so that we can gather the clues. And we have to study the minds and the behavior of the characters in terms of reality, the persons involved during entire crime scene or anything suspense, mysterious. So we have to study the minds of the people and their behavior. And we have to gather the clues and try to set them at the end.
You mean to say criminal psychology?
So not entirely criminal psychology, but we have to study pattern also. So to study criminal psychology, we need certain depth, but we can study pattern as an investigator.
Pattern of what?
So like how a person is behaving, how a person speaks when he asks certain question.
There is no person, there are only certain clues. How you know, understand that this might have done by someone else?
So I think clue vary also according to persons. A person can find certain clues that may not be clues for some other one. That is understood by talking to persons and study the entire scenario of the case that is there.
So you love investigation? It
Yes,
means
sir.
if you love investigation, why did you choose IPS as your third choice? You should have taken it as a first choice and you should have pursued it.
Yes, sir. Sir,
You have immense opportunities.
sir, I think in the I like reading mysterious novels and watching investigative documentaries. That not only includes investigation, but they also include tracing the clues and understanding the situation, develop critical thinking. And sir, I think I did not place IPS as my first service mainly due to the reason that I wanted to explore multiple scenarios. I think as an IAS, I can get to work in multiple scenarios where I can apply.
But here you'll get thing now which you really love.
Yes, sir.
So why to go in other areas where you cannot perform as per your you are passionate about? Here you are passionate about a thing and you are getting that opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful opportunity, having those powers. You can really create some kind of impact.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So why you are choosing those things and keeping? You could have kept it at second choice. Why third one?
Sir, because in my opinion, sir, investigation would have narrowed my domain. I love, sir, watching investigative documentaries and also doing it myself. But, sir, I would also love to explore other opportunities that we can get in other services. And it is not the case that in other services I may not get the investigative opportunity.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about Bharat Pol?
Yes, sir.
Bharat Pol.
Sorry, sir, I have not.
You haven't heard about Bharat Pool. Okay. Have you heard about Sapno Ki Udaan? It is a program launched by Niti Aayog. What is Sapno Ki Udaan?
I think I heard, but I am not able to recall. Sorry, sir.
Okay, it is related to startups. If you have heard about it, I am giving you this clue. It is related to startups.
I am not able to recall that.
Okay. What is Quad? And what is the strategic significance of Quad?
Sir, Quad is an informal strategic dialogue majorly between 4 countries, India, USA, Australia and Japan, that works with the aim of free and open Indo-Pacific region, and also on the sidelines it works for other sectors like countering terrorism and maritime trade.
It is creating any kind of effect, or just is like talking shop, just like people come and discuss. Nothing is happening on the ground.
No, sir, I do not believe that nothing is happening.
Tell me one achievement of Quad.
Sir, recently a Maitri program was launched on the sidelines of Foreign Minister meeting, and the 4 countries are collaborating in terms of maritime training of their naval forces. So this may be essential in future when some of the threats are created by China or any other country.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is green GDP?
Sir, green GDP takes into account the effect of environmental damage into our gross domestic product. So, after adjusting the effects of environmental degradation, we get green GDP.
Okay. How do you see Donald Trump as a president of United States?
Sir, in my personal view, I see Donald Trump as quite ambitious in terms of making America great. But I, sir, do not completely agree with the policies that he adopts to support America.
What are those policies he recently took?
Yes. Sir, first is, sir, outrightly he ended the birthright citizenship. That was outside the constitutional purview. So this could have been taken after some consideration. And so second is a tariff war that he is launching that may have very negative impact on the global trade. And so the most concerning thing according to me is USA pulling out of the climate Paris Agreement. So this would not only, sir, undermine the efficacy of UNFCCC, but also any future multilateral institution would lose trust among the developing nations and other also developed nations, in which a particular country who is so powerful withdraws at any time, and it has occurred twice, sir. So it may undermine the efficacy of multilateral institutions in future also.
So how can we, balance this kind of approach from one country? Can countries deals with such kind of erratic leadership?
Yes, sir. I think in today's world, where we are dealing in terms of multiple countries and the global level, we should not fully depend on one country. Like if one country pulls out, we also pull out. This should not be a strategy. Rather, the new emerging countries like the BRICS country, particularly India and China, should take the gap and work further so that this country can achieve the gap that is left by America. And also, sir, we have to also work in some national interest. Like recently in the economic survey, we are telling that we are not going to completely phase out the coal mines, rather we are going to phase down. So we have to balance the national interest as well as the climate agreements.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is sunrise sectors?
So the sunrise sectors are the sectors that are existing in the Indian economy that have potential to grow at very high rate, generally more than 15% per year. And the sectors like food processing industries are the sunrise sectors in India.
Okay. What are 3 most pressing issues in Bihar? Social issues.
Yes. So first is the brain drain, or sir, the out migration of local youths to the other states. And second is, sir, too much dependence on agriculture that leads to poverty in Bihar. And sir, third is the lack of disaster preparedness, particularly in northern Bihar, which is frequently hit by floods. That leads to cascading effects in other sectors also.
You used term brain drain.
Sir,
Justify in the terms of Bihar.
So it is often used by various experts, but it is more related to out migration of youths who could have contributed in Bihar only, but they are not getting the opportunity because there are not much industries in Bihar.
There
are not much industries and thus the local jobs in Bihar.
Okay, so what should be the proper steps should be taken?
Yes, sir.
Right now.
Sir, there is a need to introduce many greenfield industries in Bihar. And
Why it is not happening? It has been said, na, there will be some kind of consultation going on, suggestions being given. Why it is not happening?
Sir, because
Don't you think so? They already know that this should be happening.
yes, sir.
Huh? Why it is not happening?
Sir, one of the major reasons according
Is there any lack of policies there? There would be some policies. They are putting efforts. Why it is not happening? It's happening everywhere. But why not in Bihar?
Sir, I think according to my limited knowledge, sir, first is from the time of independence, we have when Bihar and Jharkhand were part of one state, it was too much they were too much focused on setting up the industry related to minerals only. And due to the freight equalization policy, the industries were not set up till 2000.
That is fine.
Yes, sir.
Now you have every single thing. Century is ready to give you support. But you have to initiate those things, industries or whatever you may call it. Why it is not happening? I'm concerned about this thing. What do you see in this?
Sir, currently it is happening at a very slower rate, mainly due to the reason that people have imbibed a sense of prepare for other sectors, living state. So there is lack
Other
of
sector, they are just going, doing some kind of menial works, laboring and all those things.
Yes, sir.
What is the state of education, skills? What about all these things? You start some industry. Suppose if you ask that, okay, Apple and Samsung, they open their outlet or some factory in Darbhanga. Do you think so that you are going to attract some kind of talent there?
Sir, certainly these industries cannot be set up in immediate term, mainly due to the
Not immediate. Let's make a plan for 5 years. Why not 5 years?
sir, because
Suppose you have been given this responsibility. How would you do this thing? That is my last question. Or you take any kind of time limit within which you have to create such kind of environment in Bihar where every single investors become crazy to invest in Bihar. Take a time limit and tell me that blueprint. What you are going to do with that?
sir, I would need
Every single big investor, they just want to come to Bihar. No. Because Sourabh Kumar had created such kind of ecosystem. And what is the vision of Sourabh Kumar? I just want to know this thing.
Sir, first, I would not target the big IT sector companies because there are other multiple factors that are Silicon Valley is already there in India. So I would target the industries like
You target any industries. You have time frame. You are going to make that blueprint. Fine. You have full liberty. Tell me the time frame and tell me what you are going to do. How much time it should be taken so that there should be that kind of vibrant environment in Bihar.
So I would need a longer time frame, more than 20 years to fully establish the food industries, particularly the industry related to food and the canal irrigation. I would target these. And first, sir, I would try to
Canal
establish-
irrigation.
Yes, sir. Canal irrigation, we can have multiple irrigation projects in which multiple manufacturing jobs can also be created. Sir, first I would try to establish, say, am I only restricted to my district or?
No, the entire Bihar.
Okay, sir. Sir, then first I would try to set up some universities so that we can promote some R&D to target the local needs of Bihar. Like recently, National Institute of Food Technology was established in Bihar. That was a positive step in the direction. And sir, second, I will focus on developing infrastructure that is also going at a very faster rate, so that industries do not have to incur very large cost. And third, sir, I would try to provide the benefits like special economic zones provide, like tax break and the promotion to startup through a special fund called startup fund, so that we can incubate local startups there. And sir, one of the most promising thing can be, sir, we have to skill the youths there because many are not highly educated, but after imparting some skill, they must be ready for local industrial jobs like food processing industries and other development projects. So by integrating these four things and a stable policy regime, if I get longer time frame, then I think Bihar can develop into industrial state.
They are already in the policy documents. Whatever you said,
Yes,
nothing new. It's already in the policy document.
Yes, sir.
What is the major thing you see, and you are coming to these things, which are already, like, governments are already doing in that direction.
Yes, sir.
You can't think something which need to be taken care of. What about law and order? What about, inspiring the confidence into the Bihar that we should go and we invest in the Bihar? There is some kind of image issue with the Bihar, don't you think so?
Yes, sir.
That you need to improve that.
Sir, the image can be, there is certain image like there is lack of law and order, particularly with respect to any major project that we have undertakes, like the collapse of bridge. So I think timely completion in a regular manner.
There are government issues, governance issues, corruption issues, the basic malnutrition, education. There are so many things.
Yes, sir.
We are not accepting this thing. You make vision, larger vision, big vision, that's fine. But what is these small things which are totally broken? And then you build up the entire ecosystem. Don't you think so? This should be the approach. Accepting this thing that we are having these flaws and let's make it a holistic approach. Isn't it?
Sir, yes, sir, it is there, but I believe that after developing some of the basic things like I told, infrastructure, industries, policies, then these things do really.
So you are saying it will result in ripple effect.
Yes, sir.
Instead of creating grassroots strength,
So it is
you want to create the ripple effect.
It's certainly it is very difficult to start telling people that even if we launch massive policies, they will not start believing in Bihar certainly. The investor confidence should not increase certainly. So I think in longer term, when we execute the project timely manner, then people who may not leave Bihar, then also gradually come to Bihar. So I think it is also going in the right direction. So after 20-30 years, we can see Bihar as a major institution.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Hello, Sourabh.
Hello, sir.
I can see that your family background, the place where you come from, and your graduation, somehow it relates to mining,
Yes, sir.
right? You are at present living in Jharsuguda.
Yes, my father is posted there.
Okay, so yes. So this Jharsuguda place is known for which minerals?
So majorly iron and coal and also thermal power plants.
Okay, iron and coal. So your father works in
So coal industry, coal series in NCL, that is
coal
refinery of
industry.
coal, yeah.
Okay, and you have done the mining in engineering also.
Yes, sir.
So you must be aware about the coal production in India. Last few years it has stagnated.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
what could be the reasons?
Sir, it is not, sir, declining over the years, but it is gradually going at a slower pace, at 997 million ton for last year. So there are many reasons, like we lack the new exploration areas. We are currently mining only at the pre-explored areas. And secondly, sir, we lack in high technology support that are being undertaken in Australia and South Africa. So that when we undertake a project in mining, and the last seam that is remained, we are not able to extract them due to the lack of technology. So many coal are wasted, and certainly the construction of new mines takes large gestation period. So in last 3 to 4, not only 3 to 4, but over the past decade, we are experiencing a slowdown in the production of coal.
Okay, but still we are able to match the electricity demand from the coal. How?
Sir, we are importing more than 20 to 25% from other countries.
Which countries? Any idea?
So mainly Australia, South Africa, and China.
China?
China is importing coal, sorry.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
China is also.
Now, Odisha is also considered as a major mineral state.
Yes, sir.
Which major minerals are there in Odisha? The leading producer or the major reserves?
So the major reserves in Odisha is particularly iron, bauxite, and chromite.
Okay.
Chromite.
Yes. So we are well aware that it is very mineral rich region, also having resources like forest, water, and so economically if you see it is having so many resources, but if we talk about the human development indicators and other indicators, development indicators, the Odisha is lacking behind. So why there is a trade-off between these two?
Sir, Odisha generally depends on major industrial sector that is also based on minerals industries. So there is no ripple effect observed in Odisha since the time industries were set up. The major benefits, majorly, sir, Odisha, though having large reserves, they are leaders in coal and iron producing. So the benefits are only going to top 10% of the population. And also, sir, the regions of KBK region, that is Kala, Handi, Koraput and Balangir region, they are mostly rich in resources, but there is a lack of exploration. And sir, the benefits are not shared among them. So there is a constant tussle between them. And also, sir, one of the other regions is Odisha is too much focused on only tourism industry in the Bhubaneswar Puri sector, while there are multiple other tourism potential that can be extracted in Odisha. So these two regions quite concentrates the growth of Odisha in only western Odisha and coastal Odisha. So that's why major of the population is left behind in Odisha.
Okay, and you have this mathematics optional subject. So done the graduation in mining and mathematics optional because of interest.
Sir, in UPSC syllabus, there was no optional that was matching with my mining syllabus. So I chose mathematics because I think I was proficient.
More relevant would be geography or geology, I would say.
So
Don't you
I
think so?
had natural aptitude, in my opinion, to mathematics. So I chose.
So tell me, Saurabh, if you say that you have natural aptitude, how will you use the knowledge of mathematics if you are posted as a DM in Bihar, one of the district in Bihar? How will you use the mathematics knowledge?
Sir, I think mathematics knowledge finds application in almost all the sectors. Sir, I also did a course on finance, CFA level 1 in my college. So I think I can integrate the knowledge of finance and mathematics. So I can, when I get posted as DM, I can better estimate the revenue and cost optimization of my industries, and I can also do with the help of my team a statistical analysis of my demography of the region and plan my policies according to disaster industries in a better way with the help of mathematics.
You have mentioned here that there was a study on competition on zombie startups. What are zombie startups?
So zombie startups are the startups that generally have lost their unique selling proposition, but are surviving only the business model through the funding that they have accumulated earlier. But they have no general operation currently.
So you have won their silver medal.
Yes, sir.
In that competition.
Yes.
What were your arguments there, and what solution you gave to overcome this problem that these startups are facing?
Sir, I did this in 2020. So many startups. This is not a status given to any particular startup that will remain zombie, but this is a current state of a startup that may be facing through the issue of zombie startups. So argument that I gave was too much funding in some particular sector, and sir, the lack of due diligence by the investors. And there are also many startups that are just going and they are investing their funding in other sectors to generate their revenue. On paper, they are more profitable, but they generally lost the business. So, sir, I think the solution is there needs to be a funneling of the funds by venture capitalists by more due diligence. And also, sir, startups should not be based on valuation games, but they have also to look on the profitability. Recently, the valuation of a startup is done based on the revenue they generate. And the revenue is too much easy to see, but the losses are also accumulating. So based on not based on revenue only, but we have to see profitability. So like Sir Zomato did, it was facing through a state of zombie startup. But after it changed its business model and did a pivoting, it suddenly transitioned into a profitable business. So, sir, keyword is pivoting. We can the startup founders can transition from the old business to new business if they think that they have become irrelevant.
All right. So, what are unicorns in startup industry?
So, unicorns in startups are the startups that have gained a valuation of more than $1 million.
According to you, which unicorn startup that you find more promising?
Sir, sectors or some particular startup?
Anyone.
Currently, sir, one startup that I admire the most is Zerodha.
Why?
It is unicorn startup, sir, mainly because it is bootstrapped and not based on the valuation game. It has a healthy revenue and healthy profit over the continuous years. And they are, sir, not depending on marketing to generate the revenue. And also, sir, I find it promising because of the increasing share of retail investors who are participating in stock market. So certainly the business is going to happen.
One last question, sir. So you mentioned that particular unicorn is most promising. Do you feel that the startups are going to have the long-term viability? What kind of, let's say, principles they require, or what kind of, let's say, structural aspect they require so as to sustain in long-term competition?
Sir, in startups need to focus on mainly, sir, three things. First is, sir, they have to focus on the business model, that is even viable or not. Like there are many startups that are stiff competition from not only from domestic, from international market. So if they are facing their business is facing this, then they have to pivot and they have to constantly change according to the needs. And second is, sir, optimal use of funding. Many startups are just taking the funding and take the funding and do a high cash burn. That is sustainable in short run, but sir, not in long run. So I think they have to understand the market and they have to measure the startup's success based on the parameter like customer acquisition cost. Sir, Byju's and Academy did a high incurred a high cost to acquire customers, but the customer did not retain with them in the long term. And sir, third is the personal management. In terms of the startup founders are exiting after the valuation game, so there can be some time frame till the time they should not be allowed to exit the startup, so that the startup suddenly do not collapse.
All right, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Saurabh, one last question from my side.
Yes, sir.
You are a CFA certified,
Yes, sir.
right?
So only level 1, sir.
Okay. There is an attempt
Yes, sir.
in the international field to do away with the dollar
Yes, sir.
and replace it with some other currency. Who is doing what? What is this all about?
So there is excessive dependence of dollar in current global scenario. That leads to some major countries like Russia and China and also the countries of BRICS facing sudden disruptions in trade and supply chain due to sudden sanctions that may be imposed due to America, particularly the now very radical leader Donald Trump has joined. So there are multiple efforts by the countries like European Union who has launched their own euro currency. The attempt by China, India and Russia, who are trying to within themselves not launching a new currency, but they are setting up Austro and Austro accounts so that they can settle within
Okay.
themselves.
Good. Just wait, we'll call you in a minute.
Yes, sir. Should I go outside, sir?
Just go.
Yes.
Thank you.